In just 48 months, I went from being a measly assistant at the bottom, barely even making $35,000 a year, to becoming the president and CEO of one of the most recognized companies in the online space, and brought in just under $1.5 million just last year in personal income. Now, here are the 3 biggest lessons I learned along the way, so you can use them too. Number 1 is the art of getting people to like you, listen to you, and more importantly, want to work with you. This is known as people skills, or EQ. Number 2 is my secret to learning any new skill faster than you can imagine. And number 3 is my 2-second exercise to become confident in any situation. Let's get into it. Okay, so number 1 is getting people to like you, want to work with you, collaborate with you. I also call this buy-in. So if you want to get buy-in from people, why is this important? If you want to grow your career, make more money, you want to make better friends, grow your network, whatever it may be, you got to learn how to work with people, right? Everybody is in this mode of either competition, they're in a competitive framework, or a collaborative framework. And the goal is that you want to move into the collaborative one, because most of the world has a competitive worldview. I know this may seem a little dark to think about, but most human beings are just inherently selfish. Now, hopefully, with the help of God and the Holy Spirit, you can work that out of yourself, but it is what it is. It's a matter of fact that most of the world's just gonna be that way. So you might as well lean into it and accept it as a fact. So knowing this, that most people really just care about what they want and their interests, what you wanna do is fit everything you want, your goals, your vision for your life, what God has called you to do, things like that. You wanna make that fit into what they want. Again, think about it this way. Maybe it's a boss, maybe it's a loved one, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a supervisor, doesn't matter, client, prospects. Knowing that they care about what's in their best interest, the goal, again, is to uncover those things. What is their best interest? What's the vision for their life? What's their ultimate goal? And so here's a couple practical tips. Whether it's a job interview, whether it's a phone call, whether it's a sales call, figure that out by asking, what's your ultimate goal? What's your biggest challenge standing in the way of that goal? Figure that out. Ask these questions. You want to consciously be thinking about, what do they want? What do they care about? What's in their best interest? What's their number 1 goal? And the more that you can uncover those things, you can actually fit what you want. So I'll give you a practical example. So for me, I joined a company, and it was my friend who founded it. And this was Closers.io. We grew very, very fast. But in the beginning, we were just a small startup. I was the first full-time employee that he brought on. And again, worked my way up to the very top, being president, and even got equity. But in the beginning, I was interested in what did he want? What was, his number 1 goal was to focus on the marketing department. So if someone could run the day-to-day, all the operations, the sales, the fulfillment, then that would be his dream. It's just to focus on marketing. So what I did is I focused on, for me, my goal was to make more money. So we came up with a deal where the more that I could learn how to manage, scale these teams, hire people, I could get good at recruiting, good at operations, being an integrator, the more that my income went up, and eventually that led to me getting equity, so on and so forth. And so he won, I won. That's a perfect example of a collaborative worldview. We both won. I got what I want, and he got what he wanted. That's my first tip. Number 2 is my secret to learning any new skill faster than you can imagine. So it's quite simple, but first I'll tell you a little bit of a story. So years ago, again, I was brand new into the sales industry, and I went from being the brand new closer to becoming the top 1% of my industry in just a little over a year. And I'm going to share with you probably the biggest lesson, aside from just the obvious. You got to be coachable, you got to be hungry to learn. Those are kind of the given. But more practically, one of the best things I did was actually teach as I was learning. And I got this secret because I was obsessed with learning. I was obsessed with growing, self-development. And I stumbled across a guy named Jim Quick. I believe he wrote a book called Limitless, but I just bought his course and went through it. And one of the lessons in there when he talks about learning was, this is scientifically proven that our brains learn a new skill when we learn it with the mindset that we're going to teach it. So I took this quite literally, and I set myself up to, as I was learning sales, I was going through courses, coaching programs. I signed up to coach a lot of my friends, their clients. So I had a couple friends in the industry that had coaching clients, and it was a win for them if their clients learned how to sell better. And so what I did is I signed up once a week. I would just do a sales clinic, and I would coach their clients. And what this did is, as I was learning to sell, I learned it very, very quickly because I was teaching everything I was learning along the way. Everything from frameworks to tie downs to eliciting doubt and cost and consequence, how to pitch, how to objection handle, how to button down the sale, all these things. I learned that so quickly because I was teaching it every single day. And this is probably one of the best things I did because it kind of compounds. Later on in my career, when I was hiring people, building teams, I was now in management, I had executives under me because I was CEO. What this did is it actually made me a better manager, not just a better salesperson, but a better manager because I was constantly teaching people how to think. This made me better at recruiting, it made me better at management, it made me better at hiring, made me better at firing, made me better at sales, developing leaders, whatever it may be. So probably one of the best things you could do is learn how to become a great teacher. In everything you learn with the mindset that you're going to be teaching other people. Lesson number 3 is my 2-second exercise to become confident in any situation. Why is this important? Is because confidence is conviction. Again, if you're in a situation, whether it's getting a job or whether it's hiring someone or it's closing a deal, you want to bring confidence and certainty into the situation because if you're doubting yourself, other people will doubt you. So you want to learn how to be confident. Now, confidence is one of those things where it's kind of elusive, it's kind of arbitrary, it's hard to really grasp what it is. And so it typically comes across like it's enthusiasm, it's volume, it's assertiveness. They just want to be loud and big. And that's actually a common mistake. So I've trained thousands of salespeople at this point, and that's kind of the rookie move, is when a rookie salesperson tries really hard to be alpha and it actually backfires. And so it's because confidence, true confidence, is closely related with comfort. So the most confident person in the room is not the most loud, it's not the most assertive, it's actually the most comfortable person. When you have nothing to prove, you're more relaxed. So the way that I learned to do this was simply by telling myself, I'm home. Now, why is this the case? Is because you're the most comfortable, hopefully, at home. At least it was that way for me. So, you know, that moment where you go home, you like close the door, you lock it, no one's home anymore, and you're just kind of like, you're comfortable. You can let your hair down, take off your jacket, you can relax. You have nothing to prove, you're not trying to get validation, you're not wondering how you're coming across to anybody, you're just completely present and completely comfortable. And so whether I was getting on a sales call, about to give a presentation, whatever, I would just close my eyes, tell myself, I'm home. I'm home. And that works. So I promise you, next time you're in a situation where you're feeling nervous and you're like, man, I need to come across like I'm confident, I'm doubting myself, just tell yourself you're home, be present, it works. So those are some of my top 3 lessons that I learned along the way from going from an assistant to president and CEO in just 4 years. I hope that this helped you. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, send this to someone that you think would help. And there's probably gonna be a recommendation somewhere on the screen from YouTube. Go ahead and watch that video. YouTube's smart, knows what it's doing. I'll see you in the next video.